Welcome to the Prophetic Union Mastery Masterclass. Now, this is going to be a presentation regarding the Prophetic Union Mastery. I'm just going to make sure everyone's come in through the chats. We've got a multi-chat system here. We've got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We've got Twitch. We've got YouTube. We've got LinkedIn. And welcome, everybody. It's nice to see you. I'm your host, Most Reverend Benton up in Luxington. Just going to let a few more people join in the chat. As is customary with us, kindly introduce yourself and let us know where in the world you're tuning into this transmission. God bless all of you as you join. You're not here by accident. You're here because your relationships have followed a pattern you could not escape. Many of you are here because your relationships have left you wanting for more. No matter how much you prayed, healed, loved, forgave, or tried to be better. And you asked yourself, Lord, why? Tonight is not motivation. Tonight is intervention. Tonight is identity reconstruction. I need you to understand something before we begin. Your love life has never been emotional. It has always been spiritual, architectural, and I dare say governed by the laws that most of the world will never understand. Some of you battle with narcissists in your life, abusers, emotional parasites, toxic families, toxic husbands, wives, mothers, fathers. The people you trusted the most with your heart. Tonight, I am going to show you why your relationships, for many of you, have failed. Why you loved the wrong people. And why your heart kept returning to what wounded you. And why your destiny refused to move forward until now. Let me first start by welcoming those of you in this webinar, in this sermon, in this training. Again, it's your host, Most Rev Benton, Penn Luxington. You can call me Rev Benton. And this is the Prophetic Union Mastery. I'm just going to take a moment to acknowledge some of you in the chats. We've got Hello Rosa, we've got John Omori from Nigeria. Hi John. Gladys from Ghana. And for those of you joining, kindly like and share this so that it reaches most of your chosen ones brothers and sisters who need this moment, who need this teaching, who need this revelation. We'll be talking on why your relationships fail. This is not a church service. This is not therapy. This is identity reconstruction. This is not mainstream coaching. This is prophetic identity engineering for individuals whose relationships have always been battleground. Recently, I came across a video of a very popular artist, the name I will not mention, known all over the world as an exceptional artist. And he was recently arrested in London following an altercation with his wife in an airport. And the level of toxicity, the level of energetic vampirism and destruction made me realize that there are many of you who might not be celebrities, but many chosen ones going through something similar, something worse, your own hidden battles. Your relationships are the most important things in your life, be that your relationships, your relationship with your family, your parents, your lovers, your spouses, or your children. And that is why we're having this meeting today. I'll be giving you a tool, a ritual, a protocol to help get rid of narcissists from your life, get rid of toxic partners, toxic energies within your life, people who suck the life out of you, who take the glow out of your smile. For many of you, your relationships have always been battlegrounds and gateways. I do not teach dating. I teach destiny. My only request is this: do not multitask, do not scroll, and do not dilute your attention. Tonight, we will show you the blueprint behind your entire romantic history. And if you miss even one layer, you will misunderstand the root of your patterns. And I have prepared some slides as well, which is not very traditional, but I really want this information to drive home and change your lives for the better. If you stay until the end, you will walk with a level of clarity, discernment, and identity that collapses patterns permanently. We got Philo, hello. We got Afal from Lagos. And if I look at my TikTok family, kindly introduce yourselves to one another. We want this to be as interactive as possible. I've got Ultimate from Abuja. Carolina says that she's tired of being alone and used. Well, welcome to this transmission. And we will take care of this tonight. Seth from Birmingham, we've got South Africa, we've got Karen from Canada. Kindly keep liking and sharing this live transmission. That'll be very much appreciated. Now, let us begin. Why your relationships fail. Now, I know some of you viewing from TikTok might not be able to see the slides. Um, I will be sending through the slide. I'll have my team email everyone on our mailing list the slides that we'll be going through tonight. Again, it's why your relationships fail. Now, your patterns follow a specific set of spiritual laws. Your relationships fail. Let me start with a truth most people never discover. Your relationships didn't fail because you were weak, naive, or unlucky. They failed because your identity was in a state you never consciously chose. You see, patterns follow identity, and attraction follows familiarity. People think they choose their partners, but instead, it is the unresolved parts of your psyche, of your spirit, that actually chooses your partners for you subconsciously. But who is Rev Benton? Before we go any further, let me establish why I can speak on this with authority. I have spent years decoding trauma identities, helping many of you, millions of you, align your destiny, and helped thousands of chosen ones through relationship patterns that felt impossible to break. Reverend Benton's work is not merely intellectual, it is structural, it is prophetic. And if you stay with me, you will see the architecture behind your entire love history. Now, the first truth why your relationships fail. There's nothing random about your love life, absolutely nothing. Every person you attracted was a reflection of a wound, not a desire. You see, chosen one, your identity decided the outcome before the relationship even began. That's the first truth. And that's so important, I'll say it again. Every person you attracted, hear me now, was a reflection of a wound, not a desire. Your identity decided the outcome long before the relationship even began. And that's the first truth. Now, the real reason many of you struggle in relationships and why, for many of you, your relationships have failed in the past, be it a marriage, be it a relationship with a prospective spouse, is because you violated this very simple truth. You didn't struggle because of bad luck or bad timing. Chosen one, you struggled because unhealed fractures shaped your decision. You struggled because unhealed fractures shaped your decision. You see, pain creates patterns, and patterns pull you backwards until they are addressed at the root. Your story makes perfect sense once you understand the mechanics behind it. What you will learn today, chosen ones, is simple. You will understand why your relationships fail. And today you will understand why the same patterns repeat themselves, how wounds distort attraction, and how counterfeits, narcissists, energetic vampires appear in your life. You will learn how polarity collapses and how covenant alignment is formed. Again, as you join this webinar, I encourage you to share your location as is customary in the Chosen One Sanctuary. Say hi, don't be a stranger. This is a safe space, this is a safe place. And by the time we are finished, you'll see your entire relationship history with a clarity you have never done before. Now, why does all this matter? Very simply, your relationships alter your timeline. They accelerate or they delay your destiny and your purpose. A wrong relationship can detour you for years. I once spoke to a kind lady who was broken because she gave 20 years of her life to what she described as a narcissistic monster. She could have been a doctor, she said to me, but she gave up going to the university because of her love for this individual. A bad relationship can detour you for years. Coco, welcome. That's Coco from Cameroon. Adela from Jamaica, welcome. Simi from Nigeria, Zaza from South Africa, Richard from Ghana, hi. We've got Melanie from Quebec. I am God, Child Pam from Memphis, Tennessee. Tracy from Lusaka. God bless every single one of you. It is your host, Most Rev Benton. And for those of you who came at the beginning of the webinar, please understand that the purpose of this presentation is to introduce the Prophetic Union Mastery, which is a prophetic system that teaches you why your relationships failed in the past, the role you played in the failure, and how to structure your life, your identity, and your purpose so that you can move forward with your life with a clarity you never had and with an understanding of what to do with your relationships. Keep liking and sharing the live. And for those of you who believe in connecting with the prophet, please do so using the gift system on your various platforms. That helps to connect you metaphysically to the message. Now, a wrong relationship can detour you for years, and a right relationship can shift your destiny in weeks. This is why this work matters. Samson's destiny was detoured by Delilah. Ahab's destiny was detoured by Jezebel. Joseph's destiny was almost detoured by Potiphar's wife. Your relationships can determine whether you fulfill the purpose of which you came to this wonderful earthly school. Many of you have asked, is the earth a school, a prison, or a video game? It can be anything you want it to be. But from my experience, the earth most closely matches a school. It is a place where souls come to learn to manipulate reality and to learn to be master creators like their Father, the ultimate, infinite intelligence. And your relationships will determine how well you perform in school. Let us proceed. We got Robert from Malawi. I'll just give a couple of moments for some more of you to join. We have close to 1,000 of you already on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and Twitch. We've got a few of you on TikTok. Now, I am moving from screen to screen because we have a new streaming infrastructure. But keep liking and sharing and introducing yourself, because this is a community. You're not alone. This remains a safe space. And I would extol you to stay to the very end of this lecture, because I will be unveiling the Prophetic Union Mastery course, which many of you have asked for. And this particular course is exceptionally powerful in helping you shift your identity, in helping you understand the patterns in your life that need to be changed for you to break out of narcissistic patterns in your life, and for you to finally walk into the prophetic union that is your inheritance as a chosen one. At the very end of this lecture, of this sermon, I'll be presenting this system to you. So you will do well to stay till the end. There are two versions of you, chosen one. Two versions of you. And these two versions of you are all operating at all times. The wounded you, which is always reacting from a point of survival. We have the destined version of you, which is always acting from clarity. And only one of you will shape your reality. Right now, your relationships reflect which version of you you're operating from. Now, your only task today is stay till the end. If you do, you'll finally see why your cycles never broke and what has been selecting your partners for you. Everything begins with identity. Your identity is what directs your attraction. Your attraction creates your patterns, and your patterns shape your relationship outcomes. Until identity changes, nothing else can. You also have your trauma loops. You see, trauma forms a loop, and the wound creates an attraction template. That template is what forms your identity, and your identity repeats the same story. That's why your relationships look different at the source, but identical at the core. You see, your first heartbreak became a template, and your nervous system memorized danger as normal. Your body learned to bond through fear instead of safety. And this is why chemistry often feels like anxiety disguised as attraction. Chosen ones. There's a part of you that I refer to as the survival self. You see, trauma builds an armor, and that armor can become your personality, and your personality can become your pattern. What you think is just who you are is often a survival mechanism that has never healed. Now, many of you attract from a perspective of a wound from your trauma, and sometimes it's trauma from childhood. People don't choose from desire, they choose from memory. And familiar pain often feels safe because it is predictable. Familiar pain feels safe because it is predictable. And this is why chaos, for many of you, felt exciting. It matched an old emotional blueprint. And there are certain common trauma attractions. Chaos felt like chemistry, inconsistency felt like passion, emotional danger felt normal, and your body wasn't betraying you, it was protecting you. The only patterns it knew. You see, chosen ones, it's many of you choose your partners with your wounds. Many of you choose your partners with your wounds. Your mind didn't choose your partners, your wound did. And until the wound is healed, the loop never stops. New faces, same experiences. And your body remembers. That is what we refer to as body memory. You see, trauma lives in the body, not just in the mind. Fear overrides logic. And many of you have what we refer to as trauma bonding with narcissists. Now, trauma bonding happens from a place of survival, not safety. And this is why your body responded even when your mind clearly saw the red flags, because you were choosing from your wound. Now, many of you ask, why do these patterns repeat themselves? Quite simply, patterns repeat themselves when your identity stays wounded. See, attraction never shifts, so your experiences never shift because you keep attracting the same people. You see, it's not the people who were the issue, chosen one. It is the identity state that you kept pulling them in with. Your identity is a magnet. You attract from who you are, not who you want. Identity sets the vibration, and your vibration determines your attraction. Attraction determines outcome. This is the law. Now I'm going to say that again. Your identity is the root cause of every manifestation in your life. You attract who you are, not who you want, not what you want. You attract who you are. And your identity sets up a vibration field. Your vibration determines what you attract. And of course, your attraction determines your outcome. This is law. This is universal law, the law of vibration, which the New Ages have muddled up and called it law of attraction. But really, it is the law of vibration. Let us move on. How do I break this loop? I hear many of you ask. To break the loop, you must heal your identity, you must rewire your attraction, and you must rewrite your destiny. That was a round of applause to a question that I've seen here. Somebody's asking, or rather, spamming the chats with a question. If Jesus is God, why couldn't he save himself on the cross? I have a very useful suggestion, young man. Why don't you go ask him yourself? Okay. What we teach here isn't theology, and this is not a forum for base religious arguments. This is a forum for the chosen ones to be equipped with the full armor of God that enables them to be useful, efficient, and to fulfill their destinies in this earth school. And for those of you who would rather spend your days arguing over trivialities, please be my guest, but please do it somewhere else. For you see, we are the manifestation of Logos, we are the manifestation of Christ. Every single one of you is Christed, and the purpose, the mission of Reverend Benton is to equip those who are ready to awaken with the knowledge and with the vibration required to be Jesus Christ themselves. We do not worship a man here. We do not worship men whose breath are in their nostrils. We are the children of God. We are the expression of infinite intelligence. And our foundational understanding is that we are gods. Not from the sense of the ego, but from the sense of our essence. But what we've also realized is that our relationships, for good or for worse, is often how the adversary distracts many of the chosen from fully awakening into their destinies. And that is why we have the prophetic union mastery. Because beyond resources, your relationships is where the devil gets you. If you can master your relationships, your relationships with yourself, your relationship with your maker, and your relationship with your neighbor, everything else will fall in place. So please save these inane questions for your local pastor. Our work here is far more important than Bible bashing. With that being said, we will continue. To break your loop, you must heal your identity. You must rewire attraction and rewrite your destiny. And you must address your core wounds and reset your nervous system. For many of you chosen ones, that will involve reconstructing your self-image. And you must update your templates. This is the real work. And then, of course, there is the spiritual layer. Trauma explains only half of your story. The spirit explains the rest. This is where we ascend into deeper truth. You see, this is where identity becomes spiritual architecture, not emotional accident. Now, for many of you just joining, this is the Prophetic Union Mastery Lecture. And we're talking essentially why the relationships of many chosen ones end in catastrophe, be it with narcissistic partners, toxic partners, the spirit of Jezebel, be it trauma with parents, with your spouses, and how to learn to master your relationships. If you're just joining, take a moment to orient yourself, say hi. This is a community of like minded chosen ones. I am your host, Most Reverend Benton, and I bless you with the love of Christ, and I thank you for joining us. And I do ask that many of you who are here should do us the honor of sharing this live and staying till the end, because we have a surprise for many of you. We'll be introducing the Prophetic Union Mastery course, which is a specific set of initiations for you to finally understand why your relationships have been problematic in the past and how, over a period of 12 weeks, to completely change your identity, to completely change your identity template and restructure how you move in the world of relationships. For those of you, it will also mean being finally able to find your prophetic partner. If you're already in a disastrous relationship, how to extricate yourself from that in the most spiritual and loving way. And for many of you as well, it will mean time to heal. Now, if you can do us a favor, if you're just joining, of letting us know in the chats where you're watching this transmission from, and say hi. Again, this is a community, this is the chosen one sanctuary. Just going to take a moment to let a few more of you join and introduce yourself. Let us know where you are calling, where you are watching this transmission from, and say hi to somebody in the chat. We are a spiritual family here. I'll be continuing in just a couple of minutes. Just allowing some more people to join and keep liking and sharing the live. And by all means, introduce yourself to one another. For all you know, your prophetic union partner might just be in the chats. Pharaoh says that this is his first time here. Welcome. Welcome, Woodstar. Serafina from London. How are you? Phil Swar from South Africa, Johannesburg. Uda from South Africa, welcome. Jonathan from Plateau State, Nigeria. I hope you're safe and I hope there is peace in that part of the world. We pray for you. Rosalind from Namibia, how are you? We got Ebenezer from Ghana. Okay. You see, chosen ones love differently. And many of you have asked, what is a chosen one? A chosen one is somebody who is of a very high vibrational energy, a more advanced spirit, someone who I would call a mini God creator. You come specifically with an assignment to awaken others. You come with a mandate from infinite intelligence to gather information from the material realm and use that information to propagate the will of the Most High. We could speak for years on what a chosen one is, because the reality is that if you are watching this transmission, you more than likely are a chosen one. The term is not for your ego, the term is not for you to flaunt. It's a responsibility. And chosen ones love differently. Chosen ones often experience a lot of tests in this physical world to awaken them to their true potential. Chosen ones love differently, they radiate differently, they are wired differently, their money works differently, resources come to them differently. They have to work within God's spiritual laws. Once they depart from the spiritual laws, they tend to suffer more than they would like to. For him who the Lord loves, he chastises even more aggressively. So chosen ones love differently. Chosen ones bond differently. Chosen ones, your hearts open faster, deeper, louder than others. You're more empathetic. You can people feel your vibration long before you emerge into a room. You're very sensitive. For many of you, you can sense auras. For many of you, you can sense events before they happen. You're incredibly telepathic. And I have good news for many chosen ones listening to the sound of my voice today. More spiritual powers are being awoken in many of you. Some of you, as you hear the sound of my voice, and my voice operates as a beacon, as a bell, as a ringer that vibrates and wakes up certain dormant aspects of your DNA, you will find more of these powers beginning to activate in you from the mere sound of my voice. For Reverend Benton has been called for such a time to activate the chosen, the remnant that have found themselves in these lower realms of terra firma. Yes, relationships are important, but the most important thing is the relationship you have with your own identity. Know thyself shall be the whole of the law. Yes, your heart opens faster. You love deeper, louder than others. And I have news for you. Many of you watch movies and you've watched superheroes do amazing things on the silver screen. Little did you know that these heroes were modeled after you, chosen ones. You have these powers in the astral, in the etheric, in the higher realms, in the mental realms, and infinite intelligence is bringing these powers into your day-to-day lives here on earth. But the scripture says, and I must remind you that this is a teaching service, what no eye has seen, God has prepared what no eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor the heart of man imagined for those who love him. This includes spiritual blessings, spiritual activations in this life, such as spiritual insight, peace, joy, as well as a glorious future. How dare you allow your peace to be seized by a narcissist, by people who use and abuse and trample your heart, people who have trapped you in toxic marriages, toxic relationships, toxic families, who have abused you physically, emotionally, and spiritually. No. Reverend Benton has been called under by the auction of the Holy Ghost to help set the captives free. Your heart opens faster. You love deeper, louder than others, chosen ones. Your emotional radiance is spiritually loud, which makes you magnetic, but it also makes you visible to predators. Because you shine so much, your adversary can see you, for you cannot hide a city on a hill, and you cannot light a candle and hide it under a table. Many of you feel before you think, you sense before you analyze. Your wiring is prophetic, not just emotional, chosen ones. There are 4 levels of bonding that we'll discuss. And I know many of you in on TikTok cannot see the slides. I believe they are available on for those viewing from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Many of you on TikTok are on my mailing list, and I will get my team to send some of you an email newsletter summarizing this lecture. But I beseech you to stay till the end, because we will be introducing the prophetic union mastery. You cannot miss this. There are 4 levels of bonding. Bonding doesn't begin with the body. It begins with the spirit, then the soul, then the emotion, then the body. Once your spirit bonds, everything else follows. This is why breakup feels spiritual, not logical. And this is why predators like narcissists and Jezebels target you. That's why they attach themselves to you. And often many of you misread the signals. You ignore the warnings. You see, chosen ones, your openness drew people who sensed your light. And trauma accelerated the bonding, making you attach before clarity could form. Your sensitivity became confusion for many of you. And your hope messed with your ability to sense reality. The red flags became normal because the danger felt familiar. Now we shift into the most dangerous part, which is what I call the counterfeit layer. What is the counterfeit layer? This is where emotion is hijacked. And this is where the narcissist mimics your emotional resonance, reflects your trauma back to you, and distracts your destiny. These are not accidents. A narcissist is an assignment sent against you. There are three main types of counterfeits that the chosen one will encounter. The first one is what we call the trauma mirror. The trauma mirror. What is a trauma mirror? The trauma mirror feels familiar, but they merely reflect your wounds. Two, we have the emotional parasite. The emotional parasite feeds on your light because the light of a chosen one is delicious to darkness. The emotional parasite feeds on your light and drains you. The emotional parasite feeds on the light of the chosen and drains their clarity. The third type is what I consider the most dangerous, and Reverend Benton calls them the destiny mimic. The destiny mimic looks aligned to your destiny, but they are just mimicking your destiny. And what they do when they attach to your life is that they slowly derail your calling. Each counterfeit teaches you something about your unhealed destiny. But why do these counterfeits exist? Why do these counterfeits exist? Counterfeits appear to confuse you, to delay you, and to bind your emotional field. I'll say that again. The counterfeit appears to confuse you, to delay you, and to bind your emotional field. You didn't meet many people. You met the same person in spirit, but they were new bodies. Because your wounds damaged your intuition, and your emotions silenced the warning signs, and confusion replaced your clarity. Now we'll talk about the polarity layer. Polarity is the foundation of attraction. You see, trauma collapses polarity. Trauma flips the roles. It dilutes the strength of the chosen one, and it distorts their ability to get a clear signal from their higher self. When polarity breaks, connection collapses. And when your polarity is restored, your magnetism returns because you are not meant to chase the love of your life. You are meant to attract them. You are meant to attract, not chase. And you attract what you are, not what you desire. Desire is an angel from the Most High that gives you an indication of what is possible for you in your timeline. I'll say it again. Desire is an angel from infinite intelligence. And the main job of desire Consecrated desire is to tell you that this is possible for you in this timeline. And your job is to align yourself to the vibration and the frequency of what that desire has come to teach you about yourself. And that is how you attract not just romance, marriage, but also supply, abundance, health. You see, your energy speaks louder than your words. Trauma can disrupt your posture, trauma can disrupt your presence, trauma can disrupt your clarity. And trauma often originates between the ages of 3 and 12. Of course, for a lot of people, the adversary visits them much younger, especially for those of you that have a very high calling. For others, real trauma becomes foundationalized in their emotional body between the ages of 3 and 12. So, trauma disrupts your posture, your presence, and your clarity. You often end up sending mixed signals to the world without knowing it. But you see, polarity can be rebuilt. Polarity can be rebuilt, and your magnetism will return, and your alignment can be strengthened. Now, I want to welcome again those of you just joining. This is the Prophetic Union Mastery Masterclass. It's not your traditional sermon today, but rather a lecture series dedicated specifically to empowering those of you who have had difficulty with your relationships, be it an abusive relationship, a toxic one, or one that has involved narcissistic abuse, traumatic abuse, trauma bonding, or even for those of you who haven't experienced trauma but are finding it incredibly difficult aligning your spirit so that you can have a prophetic union. And prophetic unions are essential in fulfilling your destiny here on earth. Because as we said at the beginning, the wrong people in your life, the wrong relationships in your life can destabilize your progress. And the right ones can accelerate your progress. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Most Reverend Benton, and I would extol you to introduce yourself. Let us know in the chats where you are watching this transmission from. This is a safe space. This is a community of chosen ones. This is a sanctuary. This is a place where you can feel like you're at home. This will often have people from your spirit family. So say hi and let us know where in the world you're calling from. Keep liking and sharing this transmission as well. And above all, make sure you stay till the end because we will be unveiling the Prophetic Union Mastery course. An absolutely important event. Now, a little teaser, the Prophetic Union Mastery course is a course that teaches you how to stop repeating the same destructive patterns in your life. You see, your patterns did not repeat because you lacked desire. They repeated because the identity behind your choices never changed. The Prophetic Union Mastery is a 12-week ascension course, and it's designed to help install the right identity in you. This is identity correction, not just surface improvement. There'll be more about this at the end of this lecture. So do yourself a favor and stay till the end. I'm just going to say hi to some of you in the chats. June from North Carolina, how are you? Kim from Atlanta, Georgia. God bless you. Nina Eubanks from Wilmington, North Carolina. Nice to have you. Serenia from New Jersey. Then to my TikTok family. Jocelyn from Ghana. Zimasa from South Africa. We've got Jamaica in the house. Kimberly from Michigan. Apostle Sanders from Georgia. How are you? We've got Kenya. We've got Hamida from Norway. Charles from Sweden. Lola from the UK. Joy from South Africa. Paula from, is that Michigan? We got Wu from Sudan. Okay. Cindy from the Netherlands. I am Destiny from Zambia. How are you? Zamora from Nigeria. We're in Nigeria. Mika from Kenya. How are you? Alicia from Guyana. Grace from Nairobi. Ishmael Njinga, I'm proud of you too. Juliet from Nigeria. My Nigerian family is strong in the house. Okay, as I say, welcome. Keep liking and sharing. And above all, stay till the end where we'll be unveiling details on how to enroll in the Prophetic Union Mastery course. So there are 4 laws, ladies and gentlemen, that govern your relationships. The first law is your identity. The second is your discernment. Your identity, your discernment, your identity, and your discernment. Interesting. The third is your polarity. And the fourth is your purpose. I'll say that again. There are 4 laws that govern your relationships: your identity, the law of identity, the law of discernment, the law of polarity, and the law of purpose. I'll let that marinate a little bit. Let me just find the slide. The 4 spiritual laws that govern your identity, that govern your relationships. You see, when your identity fractures, your alignment fractures. When your discernment collapses, chaos replaces order. When polarity fails, covenants cannot form. And purpose is the ultimate governor of your partnership. You see, a wrong partner delays your destiny. That we've established already. A right one accelerates your destiny. And for those of you who are looking to be married or who have been married, I want to make this statement. Marriage is not based on emotions. Neither should it be an emotional engagement. Marriage is a spiritual system that shifts timelines. This is a quotable. This is a mic drop moment. Marriage is a spiritual system that shifts timelines. In the Celestial University, we are introducing a module that teaches the students about timeline manipulation, how to jump timelines, how to move from one timeline to the other. It's a bit of an advanced aspect, but you need to understand what this ministry, the Rev Benton experience, is it's designed to accomplish. We are not just here to bash you over the head with a Bible, a Quran, or a Torah. We are here to expound the scriptures, make them living technologies in your life. What use is a religious book in your hand if your marriage is in shambles? What use is a religious book in your hands if you cannot feed your children, if you are being abused by your partner, if you are drowning in depression, if you are drowning in confusion? The saints need technologies, they need systems, they need infrastructure, spiritual education that can take you as a chosen one to the new heaven. Not tie you in more dogma, not tie you in more theology. Who is Jesus? Why did Jesus not save himself? And more nonsensicalities, because you must remember that the word killeth, the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. So the Celestial University, the Rev Benton Experience, and Rev Benton, our mission is to create a new civilization, a new spiritual civilization that will house the chosen ones. And there are millions of you scattered on this planet. Many of you will refuse to awaken, and that's fine. But many of you know that there is a stirring in your spirit. You have searched high and low for someone to be your Neo. You've searched in books, you've searched within your own soul, you've searched within your heart. And I say to you, it is time to awake. And your relationships will play a very important part in your awakening. What is the part of transformation? You've tried praying, you've tried advice, but for many of you, none of that seemed to work. None of it broke the patterns because none of it addressed the architecture. The only thing that works is prophetic structure, nervous system resets, and identity reconstruction. That is what you are about to learn. I'm just going to run through these slides because I don't want this lecture to be too lengthy. I want us to get to the juicy parts. You see, chosen one, your life rises or collapses based on your discernment. Your life rises or collapses based on your discernment. Not your intelligence, not your prayers, not your intention. For many of you, pray amiss. Many of you pray out of a place of fear, desire. Many of you pray from a place of lack. No, your life rises or collapses based on your discernment. not your intelligence, not your prayers, not your intention. Discernment is the spiritual technology that determines who enters your field and who destroys it. You must be able to discern the intentions of people who come and knock at the door of your heart. For the scripture says, guard your heart with all diligence, because from it issues the vicissitudes, the virtues of life. Discernment is the spiritual technology that determines who enters your field and who destroys it. If your discernment is wounded, your destiny becomes exposed. This program repairs your prophetic sight. Next, we'll talk about polarity restoration. For those of you joining, welcome. This is Most Reverend Benson, your host. Kindly introduce yourself to the congregation. Tell us where you are watching from. And for those of you who are already here, kindly like and share this live so that we can reach as many of you as is possible. Let us know where you're watching this transmission from. Introduce yourself. Don't be shy. This is a safe space. And I extol many of you who are here to stay till the very end, where we unveil the Prophetic Union Mastery Course, specifically designed for chosen ones who have had issues with their relationships, who are looking to create new relationships. And we've already established that your relationships determine whether you fulfill your destiny. We've got Princess from Ghana, Christina from Ebong in Italy. How do you spell that? Ebong. Nice to meet you. Eunice from Nigeria. We've got Rita Girl from Sweden. Queen Glory from Florence from Italy. Teresa from Kenya. We've got Jabil from South Africa. Hi, Jabil. Felicia from America. And for those of you on Facebook and Instagram, we've shared the link to the Prophetic Mastery Course, Prophetic Union Mastery Course. I think that's on the, just maybe a second. For those of you on TikTok, simply go to revbentonexperience.com and search for Prophetic Union Mastery. but I'll be telling you a little bit more about the course because I know we're going through these slides quite quickly. Um, so we go much in depth with this spiritual technology in the course proper. Okay, shall we continue? I need to take little breaks because this is really important stuff we're dealing with. We got Duodu Charles from Ghana, welcome. Ishmael from South Africa. Now let's talk about polarity restoration. How do you restore your polarity? As I mentioned earlier, attraction is not emotional. It is magnetic polarity. And when your polarity collapses, the wrong people become drawn to you, and the right ones can find their way to you. So, how do you restore your polarity so you attract the right people and you repel the wrong ones? Healing your polarity is important because it helps to restore your natural authority, your softness, your strength, and your magnetism. And there's something we call covenant architecture. You see, a relationship is not just romance, unlike Hollywood would make you believe. It is actually a covenant. And most of you enter into these unions without an understanding of the architecture. You don't have an understanding of the orders, of the laws involved in relationship and marriage. This program, the Prophetic Union Mastery, gives you the structure that your spirit has needed your entire life. It teaches you about narcissistic detox. You see, narcissists are not attracted to your weakness, ladies and gentlemen. They are attracted to your unhealed radiance. This is so important and so profound. I'll say it again. You hear the word bandied around narcissist, narcissist. Narcissists are not attracted to your weakness. They are attracted to your unhealed radiance. And there's a module in the Prophetic Union Mastery that we call the Narcissist Detox. And that module breaks down emotional enmeshment. It teaches you how to dismantle psychic hooks and how to close the spiritual permissions that you gave that made you accessible to narcissists. In the Prophetic Union Mastery course, we also give you access to a life coaching. So you will not walk this alone. For the Prophetic Union Mastery course is a 12-week process. And every week you will receive prophetic clarity, personal recalibration, and direction so you never fall back into your old patterns. The Prophetic Union Mastery course also provides a community support. And as I mentioned, the Chosen Ones Sanctuary is a safe space because isolation is how trauma survives. Community is how your identity stabilizes. You will grow faster in a room of people moving at the same frequency. Now, I'm going to go in because I promised I would have a something wonderful for you at the end of this lecture. And now is the time. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Prophetic Mastery Union course itself. As I mentioned, it's 12 weeks, 12 calibrations, 12 identity upgrades that permanently alter how you choose, how you attract, and how you partner. And what's the program identity? The Prophetic Union Mastery course is not a general program. It is for chosen ones whose relationships have always been spiritual battlegrounds. If that sentence hits you, you already know this is for you. We're going to go through an identity reconstruction for you because identity fractures are the root of every pattern. When your identity is healed, attraction shifts automatically. We have a specific module that helps you rebuild the version of you that relationships could never damage again. The course also offers, in its second pillar, what we refer to as discernment mastery. Now, with discernment mastery, you didn't choose wrong because you were foolish. You didn't fall into the wiles of the narcissist because you were foolish. You chose wrong because you couldn't see. This module restores the sight your spirit always had but felt muted. Our third pillar is polarity, where we heal your polarity. You see, when polarity is damaged, signals become distorted. You send confusion instead of clarity. You attract takers instead of equals. This pillar and this module within the Prophetic Union Mastery restores your natural masculine or feminine charge. Pillar 4, we teach you about covenant structure. You see, a prophetic union requires order. Without structure, even the right relationships collapse. This module helps the chosen ones who enroll to build the architecture that protects your destiny. And then pillar 5 is, as I mentioned, the narcissist detox. You see, once your identity is healed, narcissists can no longer attach to you. They become spiritually incompatible. This module within the Prophetic Union Mastery course helps you complete that detachment from the narcissist. Now, we also have a live training breakdown. So within the 12 weeks, you have weekly sessions where we break your patterns in real time. We help recalibrate your instincts and help you build a spiritual precision. And of course, within the course, you have accountability support. You see, identity change can die without accountability. That's what we found. So there's a framework within the course that keeps you aligned, consistent, and progressing. If you're just joining us, it's your host, Most Rev Benton. We're slowly coming to the end of this lecture, and we're introducing the Prophetic Union Mastery course, which is designed for chosen ones who have had their relationships turn into spiritual battlegrounds. And this course is designed to help recalibrate your identity and your polarity and teach you how to identify and attract the right person into your life that will help you fulfill your destiny, and how to detox from the narcissist, how to detox from those who have come to steal your glow and who have come to steal your light. We call it the Prophetic Union Mastery course. There's a link on the chat for those of you joining us from Instagram, from Facebook, and from YouTube, and from Twitch and LinkedIn. Click that button, click the link. I will have it pinned on the chat. And for those of you joining directly via webinar, I have the link in on the screen now. Okay. So we're going to entertain some Q&A, some questions and answers before we round up this lecture series. I'm going to take some questions from the chat. Um, and while that's happening, I will ask those of you who are interested in enrolling in this Prophetic Union Mastery course not to waste any time, as we're only going to enroll a limited amount of chosen ones into this program. Okay. I'm going to put a link to the course on the screen very shortly. Just bear me a minute. So the link is right there on the screen. And again, I'm happy to take some Q&A regarding this course, specifically regarding this course. The ruler says that they have issues with finances. Will it be around next week? We are currently opening the course. The course just opened today. It's a 12-week course, as we mentioned earlier. Uh, and we're not taking more than a few hundred people into the course. So next week, if there's still availability, you'll be able to enroll. Okay, so Tahana says she wants to be part of the course. Um, okay, so for those of you that want to be part of the course, the link is on the screen. And for those of you watching from TikTok, go to revbentonexperience.com and search for Prophetic Union Mastery Course. Alma Mikel is saying, how do you enroll? So we're going to do two things. There should be a URL on your screen right now. My team's also pinned the link to enroll in the chats. And of course, you can go to revbentonexperience.com and search for Prophetic Union. Now, for most of you who are on our email list, we'll be sending out emails introducing the Prophetic Union course, mastery course, to our newsletter subscribers. So those will be the first people who have an opportunity to join. I personally do not want more than a few hundred people in the course. Hector says, can they watch a replay of this live? Yes, you can. Hopefully, you're in our newsletter list. We will be sending out a link to this webinar. I believe my team is recording this webinar. We will give you access to watch the replay. Tiffany King says that I'm dealing with Jezebel and her fools. I'm ready for knowledgeable, holy reinforcement. Amen. Amen to that. Okay, so for those of you on TikTok, I am also going to take questions. Lola O says, how much is the course? Go on the website. It's revbentonexperience.com. And for those of you on our chat, the quickest way to get a link is to comment the word union. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, comment the word union on any one of Rev Benton's videos, and my team will send you a link to the course. For those of you on TikTok, kindly go to revbentonexperience.com, revbentonexperience.com, and search for Prophetic Union. So for those of you on Facebook and Instagram, if you comment the word union, my team will automatically send you a link to the course. For those of you watching a replay of this webinar sometime in the future, simply go to the URL on your screen. Descartes says, I don't know, Pastor, but I think I'm not lucky with relationships. This has nothing to do with luck. This is all about structure. This is all about identity reconfiguration. This is all about knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Once you have the knowledge of self, you find the systems that enable you to create your own luck. So for those of you just joining, we're at the tail end of this rather long lecture. I need to go recharge myself, but the webinar will be available to watch the replay on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And for my family on TikTok, we're working very hard to integrate TikTok to our overall streaming infrastructure so that you all can see, for instance, all of the slides. TikTok does have a slightly different requirements and infrastructure for unified streaming, and my technical team were working to integrate TikTok more holistically into our regular streams. So please bear with us if you're watching from TikTok. However, if you are on our newsletter list, mailing list, which you can join by going to our website, we will send you more information about this course by email. My email team will be sending out more information by email. It will also include a link to rewatch this webinar. But remember that we are only taking a handful, a couple of hundred people on this course because we want it to be impactful. And as I say, I am taking a few more questions before we end this lecture. In the prophetic union and mastery course, you will get direct insight to your specific situation. Dion says that she missed it, that the chapters portray her life journey. Most of you will realize that you can see yourself within this. You can see almost like a mirror of your life as you go through the course, and it will help correct mistakes that have diverted you for years. You see, nothing will remain unclear. Nothing will remain unaddressed in the Prophetic Union Mastery course. I'll give you a full curriculum breakdown. Every lesson builds on the last. Okay? So this is identity engineering, not general advice. Okay? You have the opportunity to apply and practice this because knowledge means nothing without embodiment. You will practice, experiment, and evolve weekly. Okay? Now, because somebody asked about the price, the combined value of the training, coaching, identity reconstruction, and prophetic frameworks, if you were combining the entire value of the course itself, is invaluable. You can't put a price on it. For those of you just joining, we are getting sort of to the end of this really hopefully helpful lecture series on why your relationships fail as a chosen one. And we are now introducing the Prophetic Union Mastery course. The link is there on your screen. It's also pinned to the chats. And if you're on Facebook and Instagram, all you need to do is type the word union, and my team will send you a link to enroll. If you're on TikTok or if you're watching this as a replay, kindly visit revbentonexperience.com. Go visit revbentonexperience.com and search for Prophetic Union Mastery. I'm just going to take some questions and answers, some Q&A. Okay, somebody's asking what is the price. Now, the price for the Prophetic Union Mastery in USD is 2497. And somebody has said, can they pay in installments? Yes, due to popular demand, my team has established that you can pay in 3 installments of 997. This is in USD. So the total cost to join the Prophetic Union Mastery is 2497. Don't forget, this is a 12-week course. 12 weeks. So one-time cost of 2497 USD. And you can pay in 3 installments of 997. Choose the option that removes delay. We've had several testimonies because we did a closed test of this program before we opened it up to the rest of the chosen ones. The transformation is predictable when the process is structural. You see, hundreds of chosen ones have already applied this destiny framework, this identity framework. You see, the changes that my students have experienced, they are not miracles. These are the results of structural identity change. If you do this work, chosen ones, you cannot remain the same person. You cannot remain the same person. You see, identity engineering makes repetition impossible. And what makes this course different is, you see, the world teaches you dating. Therapists, they teach you coping mechanisms. Churches, they teach you forgiveness. I teach identity architecture, which is the only thing that actually changes attraction and that changes your results, is your identity, because your identity is the root of all your experiences. And why should you trust this process? Simple, because it does not depend on emotion. It depends on spiritual law, identity structure, and field mechanics. Someone's asking why patterns have never changed before, why their patterns have never changed before. See, everything you tried only addressed the symptoms. Nothing addressed your identity, the spiritual architecture. This program does. And for those of you that think, I need time to think, thinking is often delay wearing the mask of logic. If you need time to think, that is the adversary often trying to delay you out of your breakthrough using the mask of logic. Patterns, they want time. However, your destiny requires decision. I'll say that again because that's powerful. Your patterns want time, but your destiny requires decision. Somebody says, "What if it doesn't work for me?" Structure works when you work the structure. I'll say that again. Structure works when you work the structure. See, identity transformation does not fail. Identity transformation does not fail. And that is what the Prophetic Union Mastery Course aims to do for you. Restructure the architecture of your identity. So when he says, I've tried everything, have you? You tried information. You did not try identity reconstruction. There's a difference. This isn't information. This is transformation. This is different. And for those of you that think you can do it alone, alone is the reason the pattern and the trauma survived. You see, isolation is the womb of sabotage. I'll say it again. Isolation is the womb of sabotage. Why should you be alone? And for those of you wondering, is this the right time? The right time is when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of transformation. The right time is when the pain okay. Hopefully you can still hear me. Yes. The right time is when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of transformation. And for those of you who say you're scared of change, fear is the gatekeeper of every destiny upgrade. Listen to me. That's powerful. That's mic drops. That's a mic drop moment. Fear is the gatekeeper of every destiny upgrade. Anytime your destiny is about to be upgraded, fear is the gatekeeper. You see, bravery is not required, decisiveness is. And somebody mentioned that, mentioned money. Uh, you see, your patterns have already cost you years. The investment is not money, it's interruption. Your investment isn't money, it's interruption. It's your time. How many years are you going to waste? Stuck in the same cycles. Someone says, what if it works too well? Well, then your life elevates, your relationships elevate, your destiny accelerates. This is the only danger. That's the only danger. You see, there are two futures in front of you. One where you repeat the cycle, one where you break it permanently. Which identity are you choosing tonight? You see, if you feel pulled, this is not emotion, this is resonance. Your destiny is speaking. Now you've come to what we call a crossroad. What I call the doorway. You see, enrollment is a doorway, and every doorway closes. Okay? This is your decision moment. You see, every timeline shift begins with one decision. Every timeline shift begins with one decision. This is yours. Your life does not transform by prayer. Your life transforms by identity. Your life transforms by identity. Go to the link now, choose your plan, and step into your next decade. There's an enrollment link on your screen right now. This is the moment your old identity dies. And this is a final reminder. No one ever regrets alignment. No one ever regrets alignment. You only regret delay. Join the Prophetic Union Mastery now. Your future self is watching. Choose the timeline you were born for. Okay? Guys, chosen ones, beloved, what you have just heard is not information, it is architectural truth. And now you stand at the threshold of two futures, one where you repeat everything you just escaped, and one where your entire relational destiny is rewritten. I'll say that again. I'll say that again because that's very important. What you've just heard is not information, it is architectural truth. And now you stand at the threshold of two futures. One where you repeat everything you just escaped, and one where your entire relational destiny is rewritten. Patterns do not break because you understand them. Patterns break because you interrupt them. You cannot interrupt a spiritual blueprint with willpower. You need structure, you need identity reconstruction, you need the architecture I just showed you. Now move into the offer. Prophetic Union Mastery is the only program on earth that reconstructs your identity, restores polarity, repairs discernment, and reconfigures the spiritual mechanics that govern your romantic life. Enrollment is open tonight. This is not rolling admission. This is not a casual offer. We begin as a cohort, we move as a cohort. If you miss this round, then you wait. You see, the pain of repeating your patterns will cost you more than any investment ever will. Your next decade can either look like your last one, or it can move like the destiny your spirit has begged you to step into. And for those of you saying, I need time to think about what? Your history is already written, your patterns are already predictable. Thinking is delayed, dressed up as wisdom. And for those of you saying, what if this doesn't work for me? Listen, your pattern is not unique. Your wound is not special. Your architecture can be rebuilt just like everyone else's. And those of you saying, I don't have the money right now, you do not have a money problem. You have a priority problem. Your romantic patterns have already cost you more emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Much more than this investment ever will. Okay? I'm going to say that again. For those of you saying you don't have the money right now, your problem is not a money problem. What you have is a priority problem. You see, your romantic patterns have already cost you more, much more emotionally, spiritually, and financially than this investment ever will. And for those of you thinking you can fix this alone, if alone worked, you would not be here tonight. You see, isolation is how patterns survive. You don't have to do it alone. Enrollment closes when this room closes. If you are meant for this work, you already feel the pull in your chest. Do not betray yourself again. Click the link, choose your plan, step into the identity your destiny has waited for.